Over here you won't see much except for a little bit of disturbed earth. I have planted, starting here, I planted 2 rows of corn in the middle, just side by side, and don't worry, I spaced them evenly and properly. And then I planted 2 rows of onions spaced 3 inches apart according to instructions. All the way along I've got red onions, yellow onions, and white onions. And I planted, I'd say, maybe 150 onions for now. I've got another 150, 250 onions to plant, and I'm going to stagger that 2 or 3 weeks from now so that I'm not processing onions non-stop in about, well, whenever they're done. So that's going to give me a very nice harvest. Now the onions, I want to make onion soups. I want to dry them, dice them, chop them, and I want to have soup mixes, onion powder, onion pieces, and I'm also going to put away onions in a cold food storage for wintertime. See if I can get them through the winter for, well, at least see how long I can keep them fresh. I've had onions last a couple months if they're kept cold, so that's my hopes. That'll be my second harvest, my second planting for that. Now, here I haven't planted anything yet, but I do have the dirt prepared. It's all neatly evened out and ready to go. So, and that, all I'm going to do yet on this end row is just transplant my tomatoes along that back edge. Because the tall things will be in the far back, so they won't bother anything at all. And over here, I am, here, this row, I'm preparing the dirt right now for some popcorn and peas and beans. And I'll just let you watch as I do this. What I'm doing is getting out all the rocks, which are plentiful. I'm stacking them all up in a pile, which I'll then take out later with my wheelbarrow. And yes, it is easier for me to stay bent down and just put these behind me in a pile by hand than it is to keep that wheelbarrow moving. I did try it. It's too much work, forget it. There's still some good sized rocks out in here. And I'm also pulling out any growing clumps of grass like the one I just had there. I don't know if you saw that one there. Any green clumps of growth that might come back and haunt me. I knock out the roots with the hoe or the rake handle. Because the grasses, they'll come back. They'll come back easy. So preparing the soil is a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. How much money do I spend on groceries every month? You think about how much you spend on groceries, and then consider being independent and self-sufficient. It's worth it. Pretty much I can pull these out with a hoe. These rocks come right out, nice and easy. There's my sifter right there. Good old garden rake. I keep saying hoe. Good old garden rake. Anyway, I'll finish that row up. I think I'll end up planting this row in the morning. It's just getting too dark now. I'll finish raking this off and then plant it in the early morning hours before it gets too hot. Well, that's going to have to be it for the day. Plant in the early morning before the sun gets too hot. Well, another day is done. I've got my electric fencing put back up across the garden pathway that keeps out any raccoons and bad boys from coming in. I just step over it when I come and go, and keeps anything from getting into the birds through the back door. I got that on right now, actually. I double checked it. Every day I walk the perimeter of the fence as well and make sure there's nothing touching it that can short it out. So that corner's going to have to be pulled apart pretty soon. Stuff is growing too wild there. But yeah, every day this grass is growing fast out here. Every day I check it. Those mosquitoes are terrible. Well, that's it. It's cold today, in the 50s, and raining again. Although I'm using water heavily and with reckless abandon. I wouldn't say that exactly. I'm relatively sparing, but the tank is staying full all the time. And it's just raining all the time. We had 2 days of mostly sunny. Well, not mostly sunny. It was partly sunny. We had sun coming and going, and now we've got the rain again, and it is cold. I think I might need some heat. It's really weird this year, really strange. My apple tree, I'm not sure if it's healthy or not. I mean, they grow them in pots at the nursery, so... Oh yeah, there's leaves coming out. Yesterday those leaves were not there. How crazy. These leaves are actually new. How's that for some rapid growth? So I was worried because the blossoms dried up and died, and all the leaves around the blossoms died. Actually, this whole tip is dead, which is weird. There's still some blossoms forming, but obviously no fruit has set, and the blossoms are just dying off. So once it's done blossoming, I'll drop it in the ground, because right now it's using all its energy just to get these blossoms going. So after it's done with that, then I'll do the transplant. The top is happy, healthy looking, but down here, yeah, it's starting to grow out a little bit here. There's new growth coming. So he'll go in the ground probably in a few days. Over here, I'm trying to hold my camera steady. I need a new camera. I noticed this camera is horribly shaky. It actually seems to amplify my shakiness. I have a terrible time holding it steady. I'm using 2 hands and locking my arms to my chest. My lettuce has perked up very nicely. Obviously lettuce is a colder weather plant, and really looks good today. I could probably actually have a salad now. Even the ones that were the worst have straightened right up and look good. So that's good to see. They pulled through. Colder weather is definitely good for the lettuce. See how my baby bird is doing. There he is. He's not peeping today, he's quiet. Probably just feeling as cold as I am. He's just shrugged down in there. That's cool to have babies everywhere. Well, I've been working on the computer. I think I'm going to go in and have a tea or a coffee. I'm not sure which, but it's freezing out here. I do think, though, let me come around. Oops, shaky camera. Yeah, I need a video camera. The video cameras have image stabilization and stop this shaking, whereas the photo camera, what I'm using right now, just doesn't. It's not designed to be a video camera. Although it's raining, same as on Saturday, I'm just going to plant, I think, later on. Once I stop feeling so cold, I'm just going to get on my rain gear and I'm going to get out here and because my tiller broke down the other day, I didn't finish that row. I will work on that later. Right now I'm going to plant what I have prepared because time is flying. I'm going to put popcorn right down the middle here. I love popcorn. So I'm going to have two varieties of popcorn in here, black one and yellow popcorn. And then I'm going to have peas and beans on the sides of the popcorn. That's what that row is going to be. And then I still have some herbs and other plants that'll go. This will be my herb and salad row, obviously. And I've got the vines to transplant. I'm letting them get a little bit bigger. Actually, they're about ready for transplanting now. They bushed up in the last 2 days hugely. The tomatoes I'll transplant and get them up in the rows over here. Especially now that it's raining, it's perfect weather for transplanting tomatoes. Transplanting anything, actually, when it's raining. It's good. And my little lettuce plant, which grew of its own, I'll take him and give him a good home over by the rest of the lettuce. Actually, I'm thinking about getting more pots to put up by the house because it's only partially sunny there, and they seem to like it better. So I'm probably going to end up having most of my salad right up there for better results and longer life of the plant, I think. Strawberries, that's another thing. I want to build my strawberry box. I'm going to go ahead and write that down for today. If I got the materials on hand, I'll do that. Sorry, I got quiet for a minute. I noticed there's something flowering here. I don't know what that is. It's a weird hairy thing. All kinds of hairs on it. Is that what that plant? No, I don't know what that is. Nope, that's not what that is. Is it? It's weird. Interesting little flowers there. Those are good for bees. That's what brought my attention to it. Alright, well, time to go in and get warmed up and then get to work. Can you see that hawk? Yes, you can see that hawk. Every day. Every day. Right over the chickens. It's closer than it appears on the camera. It is very, very close. It's right over the treetops. Just ongoing battle to protect my birds. It's pitch black in the RV today. I don't know if anything's going to show up in this view. There's baby cat. She wants to come out, but it's raining, so I can't let her out. It's disgusting. Actually, I could let her out, but she'd go right back in. I'll show you what I'm doing outside. I couldn't resist when I was in Michigan, these pretty little things. They were just a couple dollars. They're annuals, and I usually wouldn't buy annuals, but I wanted to just grab them spontaneously and add some color to my flower bed. And then I guess they'll die out over the winter. But next year, then these guys are going to be bushy and fill this whole area. So for now, they just are a space filler. I wanted to drop these in the whole time. I've got some violas as well that I brought back from Michigan, but I am not sure where I'm going to put them yet, because those are a perennial. They'll keep coming back, and they're an edible, so I'm not sure. Anyway, my little flower garden has some color, but that was just a couple minutes. I just popped them in there. What I've been doing out here, try to hold my camera steady. I've got all of my peppers in. Now, these two rows are mystery. There was no label, but I like all peppers. So I risked it and I grabbed them. No idea what they are. Here I've got a row of bell pepper, red bell. Here I've got, I think that, is it 6 bells? Yeah, 3 bells and 6, oh, a row of 3 jalapenos. I didn't see the label there. 3 jalapenos, 3 serranos, 6 Hungarian wax, and oh no, I got 6 serranos, these 2 rows, and 6 Hungarian wax. So I've got a nice array of peppers there. I love my peppers. Now I'll probably plant more from seed so that I have a staggered harvest. I use a lot of peppers in my cooking every day. Some I eat just plain, and in my salads, the bell peppers, and whatever these mystery guys are, I'll use them. But I also want to make my own hot sauces this year, my own chili sauce. I use a lot of chili sauce almost in every meal, so that'd be good to be able to save money on that. Now over here I've planted my dill, rosemary, and thyme. Now this guy, I'm going to give him a day or two to set his roots, and then I'm going to clip him so he'll bush out more. And I'm going to start drying the dill now to keep it for harvest season. So I'll keep using that. That one plant should provide me all the dill I need by the time harvest comes along. Thyme, same thing. That's going to be that'll creep and spread. And I'll keep that, I'm going to let it establish itself, and then I'll keep it trimmed and contained to this area. And it's a rosemary, which is amazing smelling. I love it. And that's going to be a big bush by the end of the year. And if I take it indoors, it'll last, and just keep growing for next year. Now here, what I've done is I have a hoe. And what I do is I take one corner of the hoe, and I run along and just dig a trench. I think you can see the trenches down there. And I've just dug a trench. I've dug 2 trenches. Accidentally hit my button on top. I dug 2 trenches here, side by side, all the way down. And then what I did is walked along with a handful of popcorn kernels. You can see here, I wasn't very concerned about where they fell. I'll spread them out a little bit as I go along. But I've dropped popcorn kernels in here. That's going to be all 2 rows of popcorn right down the middle. And then my beans and peas will be on the outside of them so I can climb it. But now I'm going to go along. I forgot my tripod. Anyway, what I do is I use my hoe, and just taking the edge of the hoe without bending, I just shovel that into the middle with my hoe. And I don't even have to bend over. These whole 2 rows I didn't bend over once to plant. And I'm just going to use the hoe and just pull the dirt along as I go down. Done, without even bending. So that's an easy way to plant your rows. I've got some wax beans here. I'm really disappointed in how few seeds were in these packets. And I've got some green string beans here. And you can see the beans I've put in there in a row. They barely took up half a row. So I've got to get some more, see if I have some somewhere, some more beans, because I want to have this whole row being beans, and the other side will be peas on the other side of the corn, so they can climb up the corn in the middle. Learned this idea from my dad when I was a kid. At the end of the row, I put my empty packet on a stake. That marks my row. And in here, this row, put the empty packet on a stake. And then I know what's there without doing any work at all. It's really easy. Simply marked. So I guess I'll fill this in for now. I've got the rest of the end of the row marked. And then start on my peas, which I do happen to have on hand. And use what I have. This is sort of cute. I don't know why, but they're all huddled up in a corner, chirping happily. I guess it's bird nap time. You can hear their little happy peeping noise. This one over here was cleaning this one's head. This one got hit by something and injured, and they actually clean each other. You can tell it wasn't hurting the bird, and they care for each other and they clean each other. It's really neat. Well, I got my peas in, and my beans. I have to go and see if I can find some more beans. I have some from Survival Essentials. I probably put lima beans or something up in there. Those are nice. Some big beans. I got a whole row of peas. I got sweet peas and what do I got? Oh, early peas. Anyway, 2 different kinds of peas. So this row is done. This row is completely finished. Now I'm getting there. Keep saying that every day, don't I? But this year I really am. Got a whole row of tomatoes now. Some of them are not bad size. Look at that. Not bad at all. These are transplanted from the wild free-growing ones from last year, where a tomato must have fallen on the ground. I simply took the stronger of the bunch and put them over there. I'm going to do the same with these strawberries that are growing here and put them over my strawberry patch, which I hope to still finish today, if time allows. Now I've got a lot of vine type plants here. This whole bush is all vines. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them. I was thinking along the back walls of the garden so they can climb up the back of the fence, but I'll see. They're okay for a couple days longer. But anyway, this row is done. This row is completely planted. So I'm going to mark it. I've got these orange stakes, and as I'm done moving stuff around, I mark them for plants I want to transplant. That's what I was doing here. Or for the fragile ones I wanted to use mulch on. But what I've done here, I just threw 4 up here, but I'm going to put an orange marker at the end of each row that I'm done with. So I know that's completely finished. Done. Finished and done. This whole row is ready to go. So, feels good. I'm not letting the weather stop me. It's been raining, misty. It's sort of misting right now. You probably can't see it. It's really hazy. 88, 90% humidity. And raining on and off. But, I'm thankful I got my rain gear. Been using it heavily out here this year. We're just browsing my old garden, looking for what plants may have dropped that I could save. Seeds, I should say, that have turned into plants that I'd save for next year. And a minute ago I mentioned marking my stuff off with these stakes. I think I may have found some cherry tomatoes. If I remember right, I had cherry tomatoes here last year, and I don't know how they would have got down this deep unless they, when I was shoveling, the seeds dropped in, but I think this is probably cherry tomatoes growing here, wild and free. And I think I'm going to keep an eye on these in the next couple days here and probably be transplanting some cherry tomatoes as well. So that's a good thing, a head start in my garden. Fallen seeds from last year. Free food left over from last year, nature's way. Good way to go. It's so strange. Yesterday I put in the air conditioner unit in my RV, and today I'm going to need heat. How weird is this? That's just, yesterday was around 90 degrees outside, and today is in the 50s, low 50s. Tonight is going to be in the 40s. Really strange change of weather. So all that work putting that in yesterday, and I'm not going to use it now, at least not for the next couple days here.